Shalom, shalom, everyone. This is Yisrael with another beautiful first day of the week. We'd like to thank you all for joining us this afternoon, getting ready for our regular show. I know a whole lot of people have things they want to say. I saw Brother Adoniah pushing one. We're talking about reparations today, the United Nations, pretty much anything. I was talking to a brother today about the reparations, and we were talking about the $6 million that they are supposedly going to offer one person. He seems to think that that's a lot when you talk about a nation full of people offering $6 million, and with the stipulation that if you take it, you can't come back. All debt wiped off, and you can leave with $6 million in your pocket. So I just want to know what you think about that. We tried to talk about it yesterday for a few minutes. We didn't have a lot of time. So tell me what you think, in terms of would that be enough for you? Would you be willing to take the deal and run, or how would you feel about that? Do you think that that would solidify what the Most High said in Genesis chapter 15, that we would leave with great wealth? Because, it just is curious. I'm just curious to know how you would settle with that. Would that be all right? Brother Donia, your mic is open. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, shalom, sister. How are you?
I'm wonderful, and you?
Oh, I'm great. Well, I'm better. Anyway, regarding the reparations, see, that sounds like a good figure, you understand, but I would like to have the opportunity to be able to barter and make some kind of thing, because they've been controlling our lives throughout the whole 400 years of our existence, you understand? And so we don't have no say-so in the matter. I would like to get me a say-so in the matter. Then we can talk about all those other perks, you understand? But remember now, here, my thing is that we want the same consideration that they gave them Jews, so-called. That's just my opinion. Are you there, or you was on mute? You're not being heard. You on mute? Hello? Are you there?
You don't think that would be enough?
No, I said that sounds like a nice figure, but I would like to be involved in the process, or some Hebrew Israelites, because what we got here now is that we got some people here talking about reparations, but they also talking about staying here. Those are the same people that want to stay here and contribute and be about this. So we don't want those kind of people. We want to be sitting at the table also, so that we can bring up certain things. Like you mentioned, you understand, school, those loans need to be kicked to the side, you understand, and other things that need to be addressed, So the figure sounds pretty good, I mean, what can we expect, man? That's great wealth. Each one of us gets $6 million. That's fine. But I don't think that's going to happen either. But, but you understand, having your own, at least have a say-so in the matter.
I do agree with you. I do. I mean, I think it's a nice amount of money, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Area code 904, your mic is open. Go ahead, turn the air.
Shalom to Cianina and everyone. The figure is nice, but I would also like records of my ancestors. I would like to know exactly where my ancestors were picked up from, what ship they were on. I would like that whole lineage broken out, because I know they have the records, and I would like that. I would take the $6 million, so I'm ready to go. And I would like to also, I know that the Most High will take us into the land, but I would accept that. But I want the records of my people.
Hallelujah. That would be a good thing. You understand? We want all our ones in jail. We need them out here too. You understand? We need a lot of things that we need to be able to speak on. It just ain't about the $6 million. And we want to leave here safely without being
sis says she would take the money. I'm sorry. Let me tell you what's going on. I have people that have called in on the class line, and they just called me. So I'm trying to get them the right number. So that's why, I was kind of in and out. So I just wanted to hear that again. So the sis, she said she would take the money?
Yes, I'm saying that I would take the money because I'm just ready to go. But what's even more important to me than the money, because I know the Most High is going to take it, and we're just dreaming right now, hypotheticals. I would like the records of my ancestors. I want to know exactly where they came from, and the whole line of the passage that they went through, who they were sold to, names. I want all of that. And I know they have the records, and I want it.
Okay. Okay, so you will want to know that. Okay. All right. What do you think, Brother Donia? Let me get somebody else in here. I got area code 951. Area code 951. Your mic is open. You're on the air.
Yes. I would like to be able to have a voice and to find out why people to speak for us, where we should be able to make the choice of who we want. But of course, that's not going to happen. To me, that's really not going to happen. But my thing is, I just wanted to know, because they were saying if you can show. I read that article where you know who your ancestors was, or who you trace back to, because I guess there were others that came here too as slaves. But I did see something on YouTube where it was talking about how to trace enslaved ancestors, and so this particular site kind of gives you some instructions on where you can go, who you can go to. I know with my last name, I found out where my slave owner was, which is in Alabama, and I was able to find out, exactly where they were. There were actually two men that actually had this particular. They even showed the house. So, but my point is. Because it's kind of like, how are they going to say, well, we don't find any records of you, so you're not in the queue to get the reparation. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, kind of like throwing that out. Like, how do we really know? Do we have to go through these steps, or do they have records? If they have records, then sister, that they should give us those records. We should be able to see.
Okay.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay. That's something. Hold on. Here we go. Area code 774. Go ahead. Your mic is open. You're on the air. I'm leaving everybody's mic open, but 774, go ahead. It's your turn.
Hey, shalom. I actually was a few minutes late, so I might have missed. I just wanted to find out, was there a question posed, or I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, I was asking everyone if they would be willing to take, if the $6 million were offered to us, and in turn all debt wiped away, and that we would be able, once we take the money, we're not going to be able to stay. Would you be willing to be a foreign national wandering with no country? Would you be willing to do that?
Okay. Where'd you get the figure from? Is this a number you were posing?
Yesterday was saying that they were talking about $6 million apiece.
Oh, okay. I heard a little bit different, but that's besides the point. For me, I'd $6 million. Even if you don't pay off my debt, I'm gone. I'm willing. I'm one for sure that I'll be willing to take it and leave. There's no doubt about that.
And can I say, not just
what figure did you hear?
Between 250 to 350,000.
Oh no, that ain't gonna work. No.
I'm just telling you that's what I heard. I that's just what I heard.
Right.
So I don't know, but I'll take that and leave. I'm good. either way, because I know what's coming behind it.
Yeah, well, see, this is the thing about that. That might be a good figure if we could get some other perks to add on to that. You understand? Free transportation, all any materials that we need to set up anywhere, we need all of that free. You understand? Tell the other nations, you understand, to give us what we need to set up. That's what, that might work for that. But here's what I would take. I would take that money in gold. If they're going to give it to me in gold.
That's right.
Now, what we need to do is, I don't know if anybody ever seen any documentaries on how the Jewish people of Germany left and what they did for them. I think I'm just assuming, but based on what I'm hearing, I think that's the approach that they're going to take. So, I mean, that's something that we need to check out and see how they maneuvered with them on the boats and how they got the money when they got to the land and all that stuff.
Well, that might be a good template to start with, but I still say that we need to put together a montage of things that we think that we need for ourselves and send a good representative to us, to say this, that money is fine, but if you can give us this, if you're going to give us $6 million, then here's what we got to say about that. You understand? If we can get that going on, and which I think that the Almighty is powerful beyond compare. You understand? He's not going to see us come out. If we're going to leave here with a high hand, he said that's going to happen. Now, I do think that we must have a say-so in the matter. You understand? Voice our opinion. Voice, what we need and how we need it. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, I
feel like this. I don't think $6 million is enough. I think it's an insult. I really do, considering what we've had to endure. I don't think that's enough money. That to me, in my opinion, this is lottery money. I think that they should come up with another figure, because what is it going to do? It's going to ignite people who don't know what the cause is all about, just to be able to take the money. And then we're wandering foreign nationals with no country, looking for somewhere to go, a target on our back with $6 million. Oh, that's, I mean, to me, it's you got to come a little better than that.
Well, I know that the $6 million, if they actually gave us $6 million per person, I would accept it because I'm ready to go anyway. And I would not want any dealings with them. And I would believe if they were to make such an offer, that would somehow be in line with the Most High's plan, and there would be a place for us to go. Like, I'm just thinking now about the other region in Ghana that they said that they were preparing for the diaspora. So I don't know exactly what, but I know I would be willing to take the money and go establish a life for my family and I, and prayerfully, I don't know if that's leading us right to the wilderness or whatever the case would be, but I'm just ready to go and to be free of this system with all the information so I could pinpoint exactly where my ancestors come from. That's why, man could never give us what we're due. Only the Most High will. So I'm not looking to man for that. But I am looking for something that's reasonable for me to go establish whatever needs to be established wherever I'm at. But I know that it would be in line with the Most High's will. So some of that stuff we would not need to worry about. But just saying, just off the top of my head, would I take it? Yes, with my records. From both sides of my parents, the whole path, from the continent here. And if we can go even further than that, I would like that as well.
Hold on, let me get Brother Leonard on the line. Hold on, let me open his mic. Brother Leonard, your mic is open. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Yeah, well, what you have to understand is that it's a plan that's been in place for a long time. They working 50 years intervals ahead of us. It's a plan that's been in place to put us on the west coast of Africa. So they're not looking for no DNA and let you check your DNA. They offer you the money because it's a place they want you to be at a certain time. That's what's going on with this. That's what the decade of African descent, all that is getting to the point. The Black Panther, the reason it came out when it did is to make Africans appealing to us, because that's what they want. That's the plan, that they want us in a certain place at a certain time. But this is not nothing new. The Israelites was waking up back in the day, and they sent them to Liberia. Those Israelites, awakened Israelites, that they came up with the plan to send them to Nigeria, Nigeria, whatever that place is. Same thing they're doing again. This is nothing new. And so they dumped Israelites off on the west coast of Africa before 1492 from Portugal. Robbed them and then took ships and dumped them off on the west coast of Africa. That's why they knew where to come get us from.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, wouldn't we be a target? I mean, for real, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Hold on, but there's something that we're missing, right? There's something that we're missing. And what I was going to say is we got to remember that this is our captivity and it's over. So what are we missing? When you look at what happened in Egypt, when you look at what happened when they left out of Babylon, they gave one of the missing ingredients that were missing here was the free will offering. Right. But there's something that has to happen to cause that to come about, and that's where the Most High comes in, because they have a plan. They have a plan for us, but the Most High has a plan.
That is correct.
And this is the last time. It's not happening again after this. This is it.
Exactly. That's why I wouldn't see it. That's why I wouldn't see it. And even what the brother said with that movie with Black Panther, if you notice, they weren't trying to get them to go to Africa. The whole idea at the end, it was to stay in America and build stuff up. We're leaving. And so I'm just thinking, I'm responding to this with that in mind, that the Most High has a plan for us, and we will go somewhere, and I'm not worried about what man can do. I'll take it and go.
They got a video. You can watch. It's about 14 minutes. It's an African-American state in Africa. That's the plan. They already got it. They already have it. It's already laid. That's what the lady that just mentioned, that they building this place for African Americans over by the slave thing in Ghana.
Right. When I was there in 2015.
You want to see what it looks like? Look at that video.
Right, but I was actually in Ghana. When I was in Ghana, and when I was there, we went to events and stuff where the vice president, everybody was there, and they were talking about one of the regions they were going to set aside for the diaspora. So you may very well be right, but I know that they were actively having that conversation in 2010.
Let me go over here. See, one thing that we got to understand, the Almighty is involved here. This is the line of days. We got 16 more months. You understand? So the thing is that, you understand, he said that after our punishment is up, he's going to judge these folks. Then he's going to bring us out to the wilderness. So all of these other places that we talk about going to and this and that and the other, that might prelude what you got to do. You got to come to the wilderness. You understand? So that's kind of, that's where I'm at on that. You understand what I'm saying? It's about the wilderness. This is the end of matters. Ain't nothing happening after this one. You understand? So he got to start forming us and putting us in place that we're supposed to be at. You understand? His chosen people. The God's the apple of his eye. He's going to put us in that position. Hallelujah.
Well, you have to go back to it's a greater understanding about when the Most High says that Jacob's trouble and he's going to be saved out of it. So what does that mean? When they was in Babylon, Jeremiah had prophesied that they was going to go into captivity for 70 years. Well, they was in the captivity for 70 years, and what did he do? He came and saved them out of it. If he hadn't came and saved them out of it, they would have continued on. When they was in Egypt, he came and saved them out of the captivity. That's what that means. There's a whole other meaning to that. So when you get the proper understanding of the meaning of that, then you go back and you see everything is exactly lining up, exactly like the scripture says, when you understand it.
Okay then.
Okay, so if that's the case, right, and we're using that as a template, then we have to look at what this money that we're getting is for, because if you go back to Egypt and you go back to Babylon, the money had a purpose. So that's why I'm saying whatever's going to happen is going to happen because that money has a purpose. What's the purpose of the money?
I'm sorry. Here's one way to look at that. You understand? Remember now, we submerging, we dreaming. You You understand? We don't know how that Almighty gonna make that happen. You understand? But he said that we're gonna come out here with a high hand. During the time of Babylon and what's that? They had their money was gold and silver and precious jewels. You understand? Remember at that particular time.
Right, but it had a purpose to it. Just like when we came out of Egypt, they had a purpose to it.
You're absolutely correct. So what we're doing here, you understand, is we're dreaming, and I'm dreaming hard.
Where's go ahead. So you got to look at it. Do America have gold? Do Great Britain have gold? Have the Rothschilds hoarded up all the gold in the world? They have the gold. And as a matter of fact, it's the same gold. It's just been melted down and refined and twisted and turned and placed here and placed there. It's the same gold. It's Solomon's gold. It's the same gold. Ain't no new gold. It's the same gold that was in Havilah in the garden.
We definitely gonna have to see. We're gonna have to let this play all the way out.
That's some good analogies, though, that everybody has.
Well, I think that it's definitely something that's on the table with the UN. I mean, it's not something we're making up. So it's definitely something on the table with the UN that they've been talking about for a long time. And let me get this other person's mic open. Where is she? 540. She was here at one point. I don't know what happened to her. Let me see if she's still here. Please push 1 again. I'll get you right on. I know they was talking for a minute, but it's definitely something that's on the table. I mean, you have to ask yourself at that point, if this is really, what's going on, So we have to just wait and see. Also, I want to make an announcement real quick because I got a message from Pastor Rhonda. I've been trying to call you. I will definitely reach out to you again. In a little bit, I will definitely reach out to you again. But for all of you all who want to know, the conference is in September. It is the weekend of Labor Day. It always is. We're having it that first weekend of September. So you can we will have the information for you, Sis Pastor Rhonda. I will call you when this is over so we can go into a little bit more detail. But yes, this is on the table. This is something that has to happen. And we have to ask ourselves, if they were to offer you this kind of money, would you take it? Would you take it? Because this may be the lifeline that the Most High sends by, maybe, and, the opportunity for you to leave, maybe. I mean, I'm not saying that it is, I'm not saying that it isn't, but possibility. Would you be willing to take it and walk away from all? Because we've been talking about it for a long time. And it's not a coincidence that it's happening now.
Right.
It's just not. I mean, I'm not saying that this is definitely it and it's written in stone, but it's just not a coincidence that it's happening now. They're offering, $6 million. I mean, I would be insulted with $250,000. I really would.
That's an insult.
I would be insulted. That's not great wealth. And the Most High didn't say we had to take a little bit and turn it into great wealth. He said we would be leaving with great wealth. So I would be insulted. I would.
So that's why I brought up that's why I brought up the comment that, remember when they left Egypt, it wasn't until they was getting ready to leave out, after they agreed that it was time to go gather all your stuff up, you're leaving, that's when the great wealth happened. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm just saying you got to leave room. You got to leave room for the Most High. Whatever they give you, that's your way out. He's going to put his twist on it and his spirit on it, and that's why I believe that they're going to be so excited that we're leaving. I think they're going to give us over and above. That's what I believe is going to happen. They're going to have an initial figure for us to leave, but then something else is going to happen, and that's where we're going to get all the stuff. Because you got to remember, just like Darius, when they gave the commission for Ezra and them, they gave over and above then too, but it was for a purpose. So what I'm saying is this money that we're getting, the wealth that we're getting, is not just for us. It has a purpose behind it. So he has to do something.
Right.
Well, I mean, hold on. Let me get this open. Okay, 540, and then I'm coming up to 928. Hold on, 540. Your mic is open. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes, ma'am. I think that if anything, $6 million is not enough. That's one thing. And also in dollar bills, forget it. I want silver. If it's going to be anything, let it be silver and gold and first person jewel.
It's going to be gold, yeah. Yeah, they're paying
because the thing is, the dollar is going to fall. And if it falls, what then? You got paper money that is no good. All you can do is burn it or make wallpaper out of it. That's it. Look up at what happened to Zimbabwe.
Wallpaper.
As well as, wallpaper. Look up at what happened to Zimbabwe as well as Germany before it became Nazi Germany. Their dollars fell. And the only thing that was valuable that those dollars were in was the wheelbarrow that it was being carried in. So no, to me that is an insult to what our ancestors have gone through. $6 million is not enough.
All right, hold on. Somebody put your phone on mute. We hear some background noise. Area code 928. Your mic is open. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Okay. Yes, I just want to say hello to everybody, and I just want to say that I have. Hello. You can't?
We're here.
Okay. I just want to say that if they give me $6 million, I am gone. I'm going to take some of the leaders that I know the Bible, and I'm heading for the wilderness. I'm heading for the wilderness, and I'm going toward the land. And whoever comes with me or catches up with us or whatever, but I am on my way to the land. Yah will find me in the land, and I am going where the Spirit of the Most High tells me to go. I said to myself, Yehudah said that third is going to go or be saved. And then I thought about the 2/3 that's already in the heavens. And I said, well, that means that the third is us. So that means that everyone or almost everyone is going to be saved. But listening to the response, I'm thinking there's some people that may not go and may be lost because that's not enough money. But then I've lived on the land before, so I know how to survive. I've done that many times. And I've lived rich, I've lived poor, and I'm telling you, if they give me that $6 million, I'm gathering it together, a group, and I'm going to head to the wilderness toward the land.
Hallelujah.
Okay, let me straighten out some things first. I gotta be able to straighten out some things first. When you leave like that and you become a foreign national, you have no country. You go to the land. When you say I'm going to the land, it's being guarded and ran by the countries that actually have access to the land mass at this point. For instance, Mount Sinai is being guarded by Saudi Arabia. It's fenced in. You can't do anything. Jordan is a viable spot, but in order to leave and do that, you become a foreign. You basically become a wanderer. Is basically what it's happening.
See, I know people who live in Jordan. I know citizens of Jordan. I'm married to an ex-military person who has friends in Jordan. So I'm going to. That's the first place I'm going to head is Jordan, where I know the friends are, and I know that if they could give us visas or whatever we need to be there, I'm going to be amongst friends and in Jordan. That's where I'm going. And I'm going to...
Well, I mean, I can't...
Yeah, I got friends there. I got friends there.
Is that we're talking about, this is the latter days. The Almighty you ain't going to have no alternative but to go to the wilderness. You understand? It ain't going to be no country that's be over you. You understand? You're going to be in the wilderness. You understand? The wilderness of Jordan whole time. Wherever we went, we built ourselves up. We sold pottery, we sold fuels. I'm not saying that we gotta have to do that, but I'm just saying that our thing is going to go into the wilderness. This is the end of times here. This is than we can ever imagine. Hallelujah.
And again, I say this again, that when you make the move, like I said, myself, I'm waiting on y'all. And if y'all gives me to go ahead and it's time to go, he will provide the money and the transportation and the place. I don't want to go to another country where I have to be a foreign national or a citizen and I have to leave every 6 months and get my visa redone every 6 months or every 3 months or how it is. That's not, to me, the deliverance that the Most High has set up for us. But I can't stop people because there's a lot of people that are leaving the country and they are doing it and they're living in away from the United States in the land right now. But I feel like I don't want to leave a place where I'm already a citizen to be a wandering person in the wilderness doing nothing. Now, when the wilderness is available for us, we will go straight in there, and the angels will be there to protect us. But right now, that's not, and when you talk about the 1/3, Zechariah chapter 13, it talks about when we get there, it's going to be, we're going to go there as a whole. And then when we get there, 2/3 will be cut off there, not before we get there. And only 1/3 is going to make it in through there. So, you know what I'm saying? He's going to plead with us in the wilderness with the rebels face to face. So there's a lot of things that have to happen before we can make that kind of a decision and go somewhere where we are, you know, because if they know you got that money, they see you coming.
Well, yeah, some of these countries, though, on a continent, we can obtain
okay, everybody can't talk at the same time. Everybody can't talk at the same time. I don't want to mute anybody. Okay, who's going first? I
just want to say one thing, that we can obtain citizenship in the other countries. Even now, we can get dual citizenship.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
We can do that. But I thought we were just saying, would it be enough if it was lined up with the Most High?
You have to appeal to the country.
Nigeria, and for Nigeria, if you're there for 6 months, then you can obtain dual citizenship. And in Ghana right now, I believe it's at the point where it's 3 months in Ghana, but I'm not exactly sure if it's 3 or 6.
Right, but in Jordan, you can know someone and you could appeal to the country. And I have a lot of friends there, and also my husband has a lot of friends there. You would have to appeal to the country, and they would accept you. Now, I could understand that they wouldn't want like a whole, like, I'm afraid that they might not accept everybody, but they're going to accept a lot of people. And I would say for the 2/3, it would probably be safe for them to wait until 1/3 of us get clearance and then meet us at a certain spot, so we all can try to make it.
But that's not what the Most High said. The Most High said we were all coming out at the same time. The first group coming out at the same time with great wealth.
He's not,
splitting it up before we leave.
No, what I'm saying is we're going to all come out of the United States at the same time, but we're not all going to maybe stay together at the same time, all together at the same time. We might have to, at some point, break off and then meet up again.
No, okay, I believe when he covers us, we cover. We don't have to go ahead, Brother Kevin. Hold on, wait, hold on, Brother Kevin. Hold on. Area code 513 and 352. I'm coming to you. Just hold on one moment. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So we got to go back to the template. And whenever I say this word, I don't want anybody to get offended because I'm not saying it to be offensive. But we got to get out of our emotions and how we feel and go back to the template. What you just said earlier, Sister Yaina, is absolutely correct. If you look at the template of what happened in the past, he raises up a government system or whoever is our oppressor. He sends a deliverer, which would have been Moses and Aaron. We need to go back to Ezra, what happened with Cyrus when we came out of Babylon. He raised somebody up and we all left together. This is what's happening right now. We have a window, a space of grace This is not going to be, you have all these years to make a choice. When this decree goes forward, you're going to have to make a decision all at once, and they already have a place for us, designated for us to go. That's what we're looking at right here. So whenever I make the statement, we have to get out of our emotions. Don't take it personal. I'm not saying we can't be emotional. We just have to look at the signs and the template of what was already done. We're all leaving together, and it's only a window. If you miss that window, you're in trouble.
Yes, sir. That's just going to be hell to pay if you don't make it. That's why I said I don't want to say that, hold on a minute, I don't want to say that the reparations is not the window, because that's definitely something that's prayerful, because he said he's going to lure us over. So I'm not going to say that one way or the other, but I'm just saying when I make the move to leave, I'm going to know in my spirit that it's Yah. We're going to be leaving together. Transportation will be provided. If we have to give up citizenship here and go to wherever the place is provided, as long as I don't have to become under another nation's title, I'm good. But before then, I'm not doing anything. Hold on. Here we go. Area code 513, your mic is open. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Shalom, family. Isn't there an order? Is this nation supposed to be judged first, and then we come out with great possessions? Because I'm just not seeing this. They come up with $6 million figure and say, get out of here. I'm just like everybody else. I want to leave here as well. I want to get out of here too. But what I'm saying is an order in which this is supposed to go. I agree with what Brother.
You got to read Daniel chapter 9. Read Daniel chapter 9 so you can understand that it doesn't necessarily happen in the order. Jeremiah prophesied 70 years in Babylon, but Daniel woke up and the Medes and the Persians was in charge. He got afraid and he went to the record to search the records to say, wait a minute, Jeremiah told us 70 years. So what I'm saying is we have to look at the sign. It's not necessarily that it's going to happen word for word. It's the sign you have to pay attention to.
But then again, though, if you look at the scriptures, though, you got to understand one thing, that at the appropriate time, Ezra and Nehemiah and them did go back. Daniel never went back home. Daniel never had that experience. He stayed in captivity under all three kings. He never had an opportunity to go back home. Never. So, I mean, I can understand him saying, well, wait a minute now. It's 69 years, and here we are, and we're still in this captivity. We're still here in this land. What's going on? But under the tutelage of what the Most High said, the Most High still didn't lie, because the ones that went back after 70 years. They did go back, but Daniel never went back home.
The only analogy I'm trying to take out of that is Jeremiah said Babylon. But when Daniel saw the 69th year, it was the Medes and the Persians. So what I'm saying is we have to look at the signs and not necessarily look at the scriptures as literal. He said we're going to get out of here. Yes, the nation is going to be judged, but just because the nation doesn't get judged first before we get out doesn't mean that the word is not going to be fulfilled.
Oh, yeah, he's going to fulfill his word, and we'll see the judgment of the nation, just like we saw the judgment of Babylon, just like we saw the judgment of Egypt before we left. We saw all those things before we left, and I believe we'll see them again. Hold on, area code 352, your mic is open, you're on the air.
Yes, shalom. Good evening, everybody. I'm just sitting here listening to all this conversation and everything that Sister Yahina, that you are saying. I absolutely, totally agree with everything that you're saying, because that is what I was going to get on and say before you began opening up what you were saying. But I am not going against the plan and the will of the Most High. I do not want to be caught out of His will, because that is the worst place that you can fall into. I don't want to be an outcast, like when Cain, he's wandering throughout the land. Somebody's always targeting me. I want to be a free person. We live in captivity long enough. We live in enslavement long enough. I don't want to go to a land where I'm not free. I'm still going into another captivity that someone has the charge of me, who tells me how to live, and I have to go by their rules and by their plans and their laws of the land. I don't want that for my life. I want the freedom that he has prepared, the freedom, the plan that he has set for me. He has the perfect will, the perfect plan, and I want to live in that. I don't want to go no place unless I know and I hear him speak to me, that I will be led of him and by his spirit. And then I know that I will not go wrong, that I will not be in captivity any longer, but I'm going to be a free person because I'm abiding by his perfect will, his perfect plan for my life. And that is the only place that I would want to live in his freedom. We are tired of the lies. We are tired of the things that we're going through. Money cannot buy me. It's not about the money. If he's my father, he's my daddy. Daddy's going to take care of me. Daddy's going to provide for me. Daddy's going to give me everything that I need. I don't need money for somebody appeasing me with money or throwing money in my hand. That's not going to buy my freedom. I will not be moved by any circumstances or any situation unless I know, like you said, Sister Yanina, that you got to know the will of the Father. You got to know his voice. You got to know when he's telling you to move. And he ain't told us to do anything yet. But he said, stand still and see the salvation. We have to stand still and wait. We're getting so far ahead, and like I said, all into our emotions, and we're getting all out there worrying about how we're going to fix the thing. He's telling us to shut up and be still and be quiet. You cannot hear me up under all your fussing and your moaning, your complaining, or your whining, and all of this. You're bickering, you're fighting, and you're devouring one another. This is not his will that we devour. But he said, come with me. Let's sit down. Let's reason together. He's going to lure us, and he's going to take us where we need to go. And he has that perfect plan. I want to wait on him. I've waited all this long. I got to just stand still and wait for him. That's all I want to say, and I just want to release that because that was in my heart. We got to stop fighting with him. We got to stop arguing with him. We got to stop debating. We got to stop bargaining and trying to figure out what the plan is. We got to stop this. Because this is not what he wants for his children. Don't you know your daddy already provided everything that you need? He's going to take care of you. Ain't no money that anybody can give you is going to give you the freedom. It's going to give you what he wants for you to have. Ain't no money in the world. It's going to bring you aggravation. It's going to bring you another captivity. It's going to put you in the hands of new masters. I don't want that. I want to be in his hand where no man can pluck me out of his hand. That I will not be lured about any circumstances or any situation, but I am being led and guided by his will and by his voice. My sheep knows my voice, and a stranger he will not follow. I will hear his voice. I release
I think that was a very good point. That's what I'm talking about, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. I understand. I mean, this is just open for conversation. We're just talking about it to see where everybody feels about it and how you feel about it. But at the same time, we always got to trust y'all. We got Brother Leonard, I'm opening up your mic again. I'm sorry. But we got to trust the Most High to know, because the reason why I say that is because it's always a trick involved. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, it's always a trick involved. And I was always taught the counterfeit always comes before the real thing. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know when we get ready to move that it is Yah and it is something powerful, is something supernatural. The Most High has made the plan. Now, he did say he was going to lure us over there. How he does it, where he does it, when he does it, is up to him. But I want to be sure, because I don't want anybody to say, well, Yaina, you said nope, and no. Yaina's not saying nothing. If you make that decision, you will make that one on your own, because I'm not going to be involved in that. I'm not.
And another thing, too, that, you know,
can I say one thing? I think that's the point, is if they were to offer this, I'm thinking that would only be in line with the Most High's will. They're not going to just give us, I don't perceive that they'll just give us something to say go. It will be in line with the Most High's will, and we will know it. And that is from that perspective that I answer the question.
When you look at Babylon,
okay.
When you look at Nebuchadnezzar, Darius, and Cyrus, who was in charge of them the whole time? What was the statements made? They were guided by the Most High. Cyrus said the Lord stirred him up. So back to my original statement, every single kingdom that we were a captive in, it was the Most High who did it. He said, I gave Egypt for a ransom. It was always a setup. And this is what we have to look at. We have to look at, we were brought here as slaves for our good, according to Jeremiah 24. So he's been in charge the whole time. So, like I said, when you go back to the pattern, because he's the God that changes not, the pattern says that the people who we are captive to are going to release us. That's his pattern. Every single time it's been the same. So what I'm saying is, when that time comes, the same people who put us in captivity are going to release us, and they're going to say, here's a plot of land, this is where we are sending you.
Right.
Emotions aside, they're going to provide a monetary amount, and this is where the Most High comes in. He's going to do his work, and we're going to have over and above, and that monetary, that money, the gold, whatever we get is going to be for us and for him, just like all the other times before. And so we have to understand that, yes, we have to rely on the Most High. Yes, we have to wait on him, but we also have to search the scriptures like Daniel did and understand the signs and the times, and understand it's going to take the nation that brought us into captivity is going to release us. There's no other way.
All right, hold on. Let me see some. Area code 985. Your mic is open. Go ahead. You're on the air. Let me say something. Somebody's talking in the background, and I heard it. Can you please put your phone on mute? If you can't, let me know, and I'll put it on there. Now, area code 985. Your mic is open. Go ahead. You're on the air. Area code 985. You push 1-985-630. Maybe they push. If you have your phone on mute, we can't hear you talking. We'll give you a few more. We'll give you 1 minute to open up. Brother Leonard, your mic is open as well. I plugged you back in. I mean, you know, yeah.
I had something to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They got the parable about the man found the sixth snake, and he helped the snake, and got him back well, then the snake bit him. Well, we already know that we dealing with snakes. And we know that the Most High said the end of Jacob, the end of Esau is the beginning of Jacob. What Esau ain't going away friendly. He ain't going away friendly into the night. So he got a wicked plan devised for us at the very end. And so to understand this, you have to line it up with precept upon precept. So people want to know where we're going to be at. He says, beyond the river Ethiopia shall I call my first. So where is that at?
The west coast of Africa.
Right. Yeah, that's the west coast of Africa. Southwest. Yeah.
Right. So are you saying that the plan is to take us back to where they got us from, so that we're on the continent? And when he shows up,
the African place where we came from. And he said from there, when the time comes, he's going to call this dispersed from beyond the river Ethiopia. That's not in America. Yeah, I can see that, Brother Leonard. You know why? Because we're supposed to have a highway going back into the wilderness. And from there, from that portion there, could be the highway that's leading to the wilderness.
And that's what happened in Ezra, and that's what happened in Exodus.
Right.
The same pattern.
Right. Okay. And so you got people, extremists, and these militias, and all these people saying that if they do give us reparations, they glad they're gonna help them. Well, that's the free will offering that the Persians and the Medes did. He gave them money, but they also, the people of the land, gave them free will offerings to help them on their way. So that's what they is today. Right now, they already saying that. The evangelicals.
if they do, we're going to help y'all get out of here. We're going to get out of here. But when the time comes, not only the money they're going to give us, it's the free will offering for the people that's here that don't want us here going to give us money to go. That's the Most High.
We'll see.
And this is happening over and over again. It happened in Egypt.
I mean, all we can do at this point is wait, and we will definitely see. We're going to see. I mean, like I said, whichever way you do it, I'm in 100%, you know, and I want the Most High to make it plain. That's all I need is for him to make it plain. Before I be able to tell somebody, yes, this is him. Because a lot of people are waiting on us to say something. Okay, y'all in there, where is this it? Do we need to go? And before I say anything out of my mouth, I'm going to have to know for an assurity that this is him. And no speculation at all whatsoever, because I don't want nobody to be led astray by something that come out of my mouth, and I mean that. Because I'm serious. Because it's not a problem with me leaving. I don't have no issue with leaving either. I have made my peace with that. I have shared as much as showed you and told you. So I don't have no issue with that. Family members, whomever. Everybody has to be persuaded in their own mind. Children, whomever. You know, but I will make sure that that's y'all before I say yes. I'm just him.
Amen.
Right. There's no doubt that why would
there's somebody with a low voice trying to talk. There's somebody with a soft voice trying to ask
I have a question.
Go ahead, then. I'm sorry.
Is it true that America is going to burn and that everybody's going to be looking and saying, like we were gone in one day or something? 1 hour? That's what they said. That in the book of Revelation, Mystery Babylon is going to burn?
And then when you couple
that's a whole other area other than us getting out of here from the captivity. That's something totally different.
No, but I'm saying, are we going to be able to stay? Because if it's burning, we got to get out of here.
Well, and I was going to say, I was going to just ask this question because I'm not going to say this over the line, but according to Scripture, I'll just say, what is the order that the destruction will come? Because he did say that we will see the destruction of our enemies, but there's a certain country or a place that it will be destroyed. They're going to burn their assets. The little horn that comes out is going to be burned by the kingdoms that she comes from. And then after that, China's going to try to, this other Asian country is going to try to set itself up in her place, and then they're going to be dealt with. So it could very well be that the Most High will have it where they think that they're doing harm to us by saying, you got to go, that's perfectly in line with the Most High's will for us to get out of here, for him to do whatever needs to be done. I'm just saying, I just know that we will know where we need to move. But there is a country that has to be burned first, and it's that place that has done the damage to a certain part of Israel, according to
look at Joel chapter 3. That's Joel chapter 3. The day of the Lord right there. He says,
you have to understand the fact that he says that he's going to be saved out of it. So that means that before it happens, he got to take Jacob out.
Right.
But that's
Joel chapter 3. Right.
Doing the destruction.
Hold on, you guys. Hold on. Area code 832. Your mic is open. You're on the air. They've been holding on for a minute. 832. Hello.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was on mute. I was just going to say that it's in the Bible that, it's going to burn. Well, if we're to, because it don't say America, but it's just it's being referred to as being America, and it says in an hour you won't see nothing but smoke, and you'll see the smoke for, I think it says, a year. So it's not saying that it's burning now, so maybe I didn't hear all her question, but I did hear part of it.
In Egypt, you understand, what happened was we seen Egypt burning as we was leaving out of there. We seen it, so we was there doing a particular some of that burning of Egypt. We was there at some of that, and we seen that walking away. I don't think it's going to be too much difference. Only difference that I see about the second Exodus is that we're going to be coming from four corners of the earth, not just in one location. And as far as the destruction, it's going to be a great destruction. And know for a surety, those Western cultures is going to get it. They're going to be the brunt of that great destruction, because the evilness and wickedness have to be destroyed. Have to be, in order for righteousness to reign forever. Hallelujah.
Well, one thing you got to look at, you got to remember, we're not just in America. A lot of times when we talk, we're talking from here, okay? When we came out of Egypt, we were in one place. But right now, we're scattered across the whole planet. So we have to look, we have to think of this from a different concept. When you look at Joel chapter 3, he says he's going to bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. That's where we're at right now. He said he will gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat and plead with them for his people. What happened with the time of Moses? Moses pleaded with Pharaoh when they were in captivity. So pleading has to do with it's a barter. You're asking for a people. You're asking for something. You're begging. You're asking, right? So that would only mean that we're still in some sort of captivity.
I don't know about that. Like I said, I'm not dismissing any of it. I'm just saying that the Most High would have to make it plain and be very clear that this is it. When we leave up out of here and everything is provided for us when we leave, free transportation back, because as long as we're on our own soil, because a part of Africa belongs to the land that he gave to Israel at the same time. We have land in Africa, we have land in Syria, we have land in Saudi Arabia, we have land all over in all of these countries. So if he plants us on our own land, then the prophecy has been fulfilled. Not necessarily Jerusalem, but in our own land. So, I just have to I will wait and see. I just wanted to know how you all felt about the whole thing and if you would be willing to make that transition with $6 million. Hold on, Area 504, your mic is open, you're on the air.
Shalom, everybody. I just wanted to clarify the pleading. Most High didn't beg and he didn't ask. He said, tell him. That means judgment. In Hebrew, when you look through Strong's Concordance, the word plead is not asking, it's judging. So when you look at it in terms that he's going to plead with them in the valley of Jehoshaphat, that means he's going to judge them there. He's going to lure them all there and have his way with them. He's not asking them for anything because he said he's coming back for his people. And he's coming back and said he was
in the beginning, sister, and then the judgment came.
Like I said, plead means judge. And I find it very interesting. It's nice to hear all the commentary and the what ifs and, but at the end of the day, the Most High is not the author of confusion. We won't be confused. I think he'll make it very plain and very clear when we're supposed to move, how we're supposed to move. And I honestly think that we'll start having more interaction with the angels. I think we'll start seeing more supernatural things that will guide us and show us. Because remember, in this captivity, we didn't get to see him in his glory and do all of these wonderful things and see the angels the way our ancestors did. And I just think as this thing starts to wind up, that we'll start, experiencing the supernatural more fully, and then we'll understand more because they'll be there to help us.
Yeah, who are the angels dealing with?
Who are they dealing with?
Yeah, in the Old Testament. Who was the angels dealing with?
They're dealing with the leader.
Prophet.
Yeah.
Prophet.
Yeah.
Prophet.
Okay, the leader's prophet, tomato, tomorrow.
Men.
Okay, hold on now.
Wait, what is he saying?
I can't hear him.
I can't either.
Because you keep saying make it plain. It is plain. It's plain. So he said that.
If it was plain, then we wouldn't have 100 different opinions of how this is going to roll out. It's not plain because we don't know yet. Captivity isn't over yet. Everything is speculative.
If you're allowed to speak,
everybody can speak. Everybody can't talk at the same time. Let's take a deep breath. I know it's emotional, and this is what talk radio is all about because we talking. And it gets emotional because everybody wants to be heard, but let's take it slow. And we will just go ahead and let the sister finish, and then Brother Leonard, and then we'll go from there, and then we'll go up the line. Go ahead, sister, finish what you were saying.
No, I'm just saying everything right now is speculative. That's why we have so many camps. That's why we have so many different ways of doing feast days. That's how we have so many ways of trying to figure out the calendar. You know, everything is speculative because we don't know. We weren't there. And the only thing that you have is the Ruach to give you understanding. And he gives us understanding in his time. So I'm not saying what you're saying is right. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I'm saying everything is speculative at this point because of captivity. We're still in the captivity.
Correct. That's correct.
I just want to say you're doing a good job of moderating.
What we doing?
Amen.
Talk radio, that's what it is. It's talk radio.
Amen.
I'm sending an email to our connection at the UN, and I'm asking her if she can join us right now if she has time. So if she can call in right now because she's been very instrumental. 718-664-9551. She's been very instrumental in putting this whole thing together. So I'm trying to see if I can get her to come in real quick and just say a few words. And if we can get her to call in, I'm sure that we'll see what happens from here, but I'm going to send it right now. But, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it sounds good. It does. The fact that it's happening right now, 16 months away from our sentence being fulfilled is amazing. I mean, it's right on time. It's right on schedule. And, we are going to see something, he said, right before your eyes. I mean, so, as we know that this is going on right before our eyes, I mean, we're watching all the options because I don't want to miss out on nothing. I am out of here. They can have whatever I have. I will leave the keys. You can have the furniture, the cars, the whole nine. I'm gone.
Everything.
You can have it.
So earlier when I made the statement about pleading, the scripture also says that I will plead with you just as Moses pleaded with your forefathers in the wilderness.
Right.
So my point exactly. Pleading doesn't necessarily mean only judgment. Pleading means that you're asking, you're bartering. That's what pleading means. So he's telling you in Joel chapter 3, when he comes back, he's going to say, hey, you have my people in some sort of captivity. You need to let them go. So I always use the analogy of the two witnesses that are in the streets of, coincidentally, Jerusalem. Why are they there? When I was a Christian, they told us, oh, they're just there for whatever reason. No, they're there because the people in the land don't belong there. So they're chastising and pleading with them to get out of there. So what I'm saying is, when he comes back, he's bringing them down in the valley of Jehoshaphat because his people are in captivity. He's pleading with them. That's the only analogy. I just wanted to bring that up.
You know what? We have a lot of people on this line. I mean, more than we have ever had. Hold on. Area code 928. I'm going to open up your mic again and see if we can make it work.
Okay.
Oh, your mic is open. Are you there?
Yes, I am. And I was going to say that different people are going to be leaving the country probably at different times because he's got to gather us from the four corners of the earth. But there's got to be a Moses somewhere in this. So Moses is going to go, and it probably, when I say Moses, it's going to be probably like a Congress, like a group of people pleading somewhere for us to get our own land. And the Ruach has just blocked me from saying something. Maybe I was going to reveal something I shouldn't. But there's got to be a Moses, and a Moses just doesn't have to be one person. It could be a group of people asking on behalf of a nation.
That's why we have to get out of our emotions, because you remember what happened when the Most High put darkness in Egypt. The people that rebelled against Moses, he killed them. So once again, all I'm saying is we got to stop being emotional and understand that, like the sister said, we don't have all the answers, but there's one thing we have to do. We got to get out of our emotions, because that's what's going to get us in trouble.
It's a lot. I'll tell you the truth. Well, I mean, I mean, you know, this is talk radio. We just talking, you know, and it's just what we do. And this is how, you know, we give this information to the public. And, you know, we are experiencing some serious things that are going on, things that they never talked about before. You know, it was never an issue. It was never an option. It just wasn't anything. You know, so now that we're at this point and we know that this is what we're doing, you know, we have to just, we're going to have to pray. I mean, you know, once the captivity is up, I'm going to be looking up toward heaven like, okay, now what? What's next? You know, because like somebody said, what happens after 2019 and the day of repentance? What do we do after that? This has been fueling us and driving us for so long that we're about to do this, and then afterwards what happens? Guess what we do? We come back and begin to keep living our culture. We keep having the Bible classes. We keep doing things to teach our children, because the ultimate goal here is really not to make our presence known in this country. It's to get ready to leave here. And we do that by still teaching, by telling our family members, by living the life in front of them, by doing the things that we need to do. And then when that time comes, you know, it's going to be a very solemn time for us all, because you're going to say goodbye to somebody. Now, whether they go out in the first round with us or they go out in the second round, or the angels got to come dig them out of the clefts of the rock, you're going to say goodbye to somebody. You know, and it's going to be very difficult, you know. So, like I said, mentally, we have to be ready to say, okay, am I really ready to do this? You know, can I really say goodbye to my family members to never see them in this soil again? No? That's critical. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's just not, and we all say, I'm ready to go. I say it, I'm ready to go. You know, but I mean, you know, it's like, wow, I thought about it. I said, my grandmother's 92 years old, you know, and it's like, I'm not her daughter. So her daughter and sons may say she ain't going nowhere. So I got to say goodbye to her. Never to see her again unless she comes in the next wave. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there are other things psychologically we have to prepare our minds for and get ready for and say that, because this is a one-way trip. There's no turning back if you take it. It's a one-way trip to a place that you have nothing, you know nothing of.
Wow. I just want to add something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is just my analogy. This is what I'm saying. This is what I feel. But I heard one of the gentlemen was saying about we got to watch the patterns and the signs, how things that happen this in that time and in that time. But I don't believe in putting the Most High in a box, because He's not subject to do the same thing the same way every time. And because He tells us, He said, you adulterous, an evil generation, look for a sign. He said, there shall be no sign. So I think that, you know, it may not necessarily have to happen the way it happened that time or in this place or in that place, whatever. But I think when we are beginning to do those things, then we are putting Him inside of a box. And He's going to do it however way He wants it done. It's going to be done. And like I said, He tells us, we're looking for a sign. He said, there should not be no sign but the sign of the prophet of Jonah. And He speaks of that a lot of times in the scriptures, a whole lot about there should not be no signs in different situations over there in the New Testament. So, my opinion.
Well, my thing is this. This is the key. He's going to lure us back some way.
Right.
You know, There's a difference between luring back in the day of the Most High and the Valley of Jehoshaphat. So those are totally different situations, completely different. Because when I see the Valley of Jehoshaphat, those that have come are the ones that are tucked away safely in the wilderness or in the wilderness. It is those ones that they did not let go free that he's going to pull them out and bring the country down there and say, look, I need you to release my people. Because, why do I say that, Yaina? Because it's only 3.5 years in the wilderness. The Great Tribulation is only 3.5 years. So he's going to preserve those who know when to move at the right time to be safe during those 3.5 years of the tribulation. He said, and then after that, he's coming back on the last trump, and that's when all hell is going to break loose, and he's going to come in and go and plead with the people. So, I see that just a little bit different. My thing, though, is this. What is the luring? If this is the luring, we need to know. If this is what he's going to be doing to lure us, we need to be sure and know for an assurity that this is it, without any reservations of any kind. And when we do that, how do we do that? We have to go to the Word. Because he said the ships at Tarshish was coming to get us, that we didn't have to bring anything with us when we leave. They're going to have food and clothing for us when we get ready to leave. Now, he did say we were going, and it's the Bible is like a puzzle. And you have to be able to put the puzzle pieces together, because they didn't put it all in chronological order to a point where you can say, okay, this is going to be like this, and this. There are certain scriptures, like Brother Kevin is saying, that are in certain books that apply to what we're talking about right now. But the key is knowing where to put the puzzle pieces. So guess what we got to do? We still going to have to pray before we move. That's all I'm saying. Pray before we move. Because I don't want to be knowing. And if we're going to amass a land mass that is ours, that is a part of the land that he gave us, I'm in. And I know it's him, I'm in. I'm in, 100%. I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'm in. And I'm going to trust him, because the wilderness is where we're ultimately going to be. Now, right now, we're not in the Great Tribulation. We're nowhere near it right now. We're working our way through it, but we're nowhere near it right now. So, it's just a lot at this point, to try to put the puzzle pieces together. And it can be very confusing. And like I said, at the last minute, I don't want no mishaps. I want to know for sure. And I'm not saying nothing to nobody that, I don't know. You have to just wait and see. But I don't think it's a coincidence that they're talking about it now.
I'm going to make a statement, and I know, just like I said the last time, I'm going to get some soda cans thrown at me, but I love y'all. But I got to say this.
Oh, wait, before you say it, everybody brace themselves and take a deep breath. Go ahead, Brother Captain.
You know it's two different, like you said, there's two different folks on this line. You got Messianic and non-Messianic, right?
Yes.
So there's some people that don't believe in the tribulation.
That's
some
true.
People that don't believe in certain things of the New Testament. And so I'm putting this out there for the people that don't understand what's going on.
That the spirit of the people whom he raised up. So it wasn't everybody. I'm sure there was other Israelites, but they all didn't decide to go on in the book of Ezra. And what I'm saying is, we know he's going to raise up a man. I'm taking anything from the women. Let me finish.
Brother Captain,
You know I'm not taking nothing out of this, but as a courtesy, don't listen, as a courtesy, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But you know